You won't believe what this lawyer says about the family court in Georgia.
So another thing people do where we talk about being responsible. So sometimes a woman is married, and they've been separated for a while. She gets pregnant by another man. Her husband is the father.
Bitch, are you for real?
So the husband
the husband is the legal father, not the baby daddy is the husband on the hook
for that child.
And
But-
so
Now, the brother that's interviewing her, he's going to ask the right question of how does the husband get out of that deal? But just keep in mind while listening to this that in those type of situations, they will deploy the best interest of the child type of thinking. That side dude or new fling might be a walking deadbeat. So this responsible husband that she's leaving, let's not, write him out of the picture too soon.
you can't even get divorced in Georgia if you're pregnant. Because the Georgia favors legitimate children being married in wedlock, regardless of who put the baby in there. Okay, so you can't get divorced while you pregnant, which I'm waiting for a couple babies to be delivered right now. That ain't the husband's. We're gonna have to deal with it.
Right.
If lawyers can only take on so many clients at a time, and she has multiple clients right now who are currently in the situation where they have a baby in them while they're separated from the husband and they want to get a divorce, but they can't because they got to wait for the baby to be born. You got to think, how often is this situation a situation where the husband is potentially on the hook for the child that the woman seemingly immediately went and got put inside of her by somebody else when they were separated?
So yeah, you can, husbands, you're definitely responsible for them babies.
So how do you go about, I guess, getting off the hook when that happens?
When you're the husband?
Yes, ma'am.
So it kind of depends on where we are and kind of like what the deal is, right? Okay. So because if we stick into the law, like procedural to procedural, like we got to have that other baby daddy tag into the case, and basically almost like transfer legitimacy. That never happens though, because sometimes the baby daddy ain't trying to step up. And he's like,
Shut the fuck up. I was gonna ask, so I guess
he out of there. He is out of there. He got the mindset right now. You know what? I think y'all need to go and work on your marriage and remember your vows of for better or worse. I think that's what God would want right now. He out of there. But in all seriousness, you got to think about how hard it got to be to get just some dude, get him in court on something like that. Even if she's sitting there saying that this other person is the dad, they're going to be like, until we actually find him out of a cave in Afghanistan where he's hiding right now and actually confirm through DNA that he's the dad, or if he steps up and says it, like, that's the husband's responsibility. And that's terrible.
if they deny it, it becomes just a big old problem.
Yeah, it becomes a problem because the court is not going to delegitimate a child.
Right.
Right. So most of the time, we'll have a mom who understands and openly acknowledges that her husband is not the father and doesn't want him to have anything to do with the child anyway.
Okay.
That's a good thing, but I question how often that happens. I think it probably would depend on how secure of a situation she thinks she got with the next dude. But if that next dude is shaky, I don't think the woman is doing that most of the time. But if she's right, if the lawyer is accurate, because lawyers, they're experts, they know their stuff, but they still have their biases.
It is that her husband is not the father and doesn't want him to have anything to do with the child anyway.
Okay.
Does she know that? But there's some that don't. 'Cause I mean, whether they want the health insurance or the child support or whatever, but it's messy. It can be really tangled up.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Hashtag OJ Simpson was right. No, I'm just playing. Don't nobody start that hashtag. All right. Shout out to this brother right there who conducted this interview. Go subscribe to his channel. It's called The Family Court Podcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Machismo TV or any channel that's doing this content for men, giving us information that men need to hear.